So today we're going to take a look at how compound interest works. So in the world of investing in debt, interest is added to the principal in what is known as compound interest. The percent rate is typically given on a yearly basis, but it can be applied more than one each year. So it's known as the compounding frequency. So we're going to take a look at this and see how this works. So this first one here, a person invests $500 in an account that earns a yearly interest rate of 4%. Okay, and invest $500. So how much would this investment be worth after 5 years or after 10 years if its compounding frequency was once a year? So we deposit $500 and it's 4% each year. So I'm going to do 1 plus 0.04 because this will multiply. It'll find 4% of it, but that plus 1 adds it to the entire amount to the power of 10 years. So if we type that into our calculator here, 500 times, we end up with $740 and about 12 cents. So then this next question, it says, if on the other hand it is applied 4 times per year, known as quarterly, why would it make sense not to multiply by 1.04% each quarter? Well, it's 4% a year, not a quarter. So when you think about it, a quarter, well, what percent would that be? Well, if you're checking it each quarter, if it's 4% a year, 4% divided by 4 is 1. So how much could you assume you're making each quarter is 1%, because you take 4% and you divide it by 4, because it's quarterly, and you end up with 1%. So using your answer from part C, let's calculate this. So once again, we start with 500. 1 plus, but we take our 4% divided by 4, and it's checked quarterly. So it's not just checked 10 times anymore. It's checked 4 times for 10 years. So if we put that into the calculator, and you want to type it in exactly as it is with the parentheses, make sure you use your fraction key for the 0.04 divided by 4 to the power of 4 times 10, and we end up with $744.43. So how would this change on part E if it's compounded monthly? Well, we'd have our 500, 1 plus 0.04. We'd have to divide that by 12 because it's checked monthly to the power of 12 times 10. And again, we can type this in exactly as we have. Let's see, 500 times parentheses 1 plus 0.04 divided by 12 to the power of, sorry about that, messed up on typing it in, 12 times 10, and we have $745.42. So as you guys can see, for a shorter compounding period, so quarterly to annually, you get to apply the interest more often, but it's a lower rate. So this next one here, how much would $1,000 invested at 2% yearly interest rate compounded, so I'm going to say it's compounded monthly, be in the works after 20 years? So we start with $1,000, 1 plus our 2%, but it's compounded monthly for 20 years, so 12 times 20. And we can type that in, 1 plus 0.02 divided by 12 to the power of 12 times 20. And we have $1,491.33. So on this back page here, we're coming up with our formula here. So the initial amount invested, so our total amount, we take our principal, the amount we invest, times 1 plus our yearly interest rate, so our rate, divided by how many times we compound it to the n times t. So if we take a look at number 4, an investment with a yearly rate of 5% is compounded at different frequencies. So we have quarterly, monthly, and daily. So quarterly, monthly, and daily. So it's that same amount. So we have 500 times 1 plus 0.05. Quarterly would be 4, and it's for 7 years, so 4 times 7. Monthly, 500, 1 plus 0.05 divided by 12 to the power of 12 times 7. And then daily, 500, 1 plus 0.05 divided by 365 to the power of 365 times 7. Oops, that got a little messy. Sorry about that. And we can start seeing what these are. So 500 times 1 plus 0.05 divided by 4 to the power. So this first one, we would have $707.99. This next one, we'd have $709.02. And let's see what happens daily. We have $709.51. So as you can see, the more we compound it, the more money you're going to get. And what happens is if we compound it continuously, so it's constantly checking, what happens is we end up with this formula called PERT, where we use the number E, which we talked a little bit about in log. So E is the number, it's about 2.7, I think it is. Let's see, so E is about 2.72. And so if it's compounded continuously, we don't have to do that divide by. We call it that PERT formula. So we invest $350, 2% continuously. So after 2 years, so it's just going to be $350 E, our rate, 0.02 times how many years is T. So then it says after 20 years. So we're just going to do 350 E to the 0.02 times 20. And again, you have that E key on your calculator that you can use. And we end up with $522.13. So why don't you try the next page and see what you can come up with on those practice problems.